So that's how we structure a page. But on this page now, we've got two layouts that aren't aligned. Okay, so we've got this one from the type drawer, which the alignment is here, and this one from Inco, which is different. Our text comes out here, so that's not good. That's not good design. So let's now just go and get our bots to update everything for us. And before we do, let's remind ourselves of the setting. Well, this layout has 64 as the outer padding, and it's got 32 as the inner padding, the left and right. And let's have a look at the max width. Well, the max width was 1280. So now let's go and look at the one from Inco. Well, Inco only has 32 left and right on the outer padding. It has 32 also on the inner padding. And for the max width, well, it doesn't have a max width. Okay, well, that's interesting. So now let's go and get our bots to go and update that for us. Could you imagine if we had to go in there and change all the padding ourselves? And even worse, imagine if the content team dragged in a layout and they had to go and do that. Well, this is why websites become a mess very quickly. You know, there's a lot of human error in going to change padding and alignment. You don't want to be doing this. Even as a designer, you don't really want to be doing this. You just want to hit a button and know that it's all done and it all works. No testing and no time required whatsoever. So let's do it. So let's have a look at the bot. Where does it live? Well, we'll go to the layouts drawer, and here's our bot. I'm just going to click it. And here you can see the padding settings. So here we've got max width, our outer and inner. So max width, ever in doubt, make it 1440. You know this now because on a laptop, it goes full width anyway, left and right. But we definitely want to set, normally, if ever in doubt, set it for those desktop users. They're on 1920 pixels, and we're just going to consider their width. There are a few exceptions, which we're going to learn in the intermediate class just shortly. So I'm going to set this 1440. Outer, ever in doubt, I say make it 64. And inner, I actually like 32. But since these are 32 already, let's mix it up a little bit and make them 16. So I'll make this 16. And then let's hit the apply button and bang. So let's close the drawer to go and have a look at that. Okay, so let's first of all have a look at our alignment. Let's get our eye in. It's looking pretty good. We'll look in business mode in a second, but let's have a look. We've got 64 on the outer, and we've got 1440 for the max width. And then our inner, we've got 16 on all blocks. All the blocks are now 16. Remember, the bot is only changing the left and right. It's not changing the top and bottom. It's just looking after that width alignment for us. Okay, so let's go down to the Inco theme. Cool. Well, we've now got 64. Notice it hasn't changed the top and bottom. Brilliant. And we've got 1440, and we've got 16 on the inner padding. So that's all lovely. So now I'll flip to business mode, and you can see the alignment there is looking good. But now I'll show you one last trick that you need to just be aware of. I'm going to show you mobile. Okay, now look at our mobile. This is also perfectly aligned. But mobile, notice, it's not 64 plus 16. This is actually 32 pixels. So the way the mobile platform works is it's making a lot of the hard decisions for you. So you don't even have to think about anything, and you don't even have to do anything. Everything just works. And so this is why we only have outer padding and inner padding. We've only got two lots of padding on any layout. We've got outer and inner. And what we basically do, the way that the algorithm works, is when we've got an outer padding, on mobile it makes it 16. Irrespective if it's 64 on desktop, 32 on desktop, the outer padding on mobile is always 16. And then on the inner padding, irrespective if it's 64 or 32 or 16, on the inner padding on mobile is also only 16. So we've got these two banks of 16 pixels, right? So everything just works on mobile. We just sort all that out for you. So it's just important to be aware of that. So people say, oh, well, what happens if I wanted to make my outer padding, let's say 100 pixels or this 8 pixels? Well, think about what that would mean. That would mean any content editor coming in the future would have to know that and be aware of it when they're making changes. And that's why website designs get in a mess. So there's no difference in the beauty of how it would look between using 64 and 100, right? Because we can control that by not using padding. There's other ways we can control it, right? So I'll just show you this. We'll cover more of this in the intermediate. But on here, if I wanted to change the width of this one to be a bit smaller, so I could say I'm going to change the width and make that in the center. Well, width is just a function of desktop in CSS, right? So this width is only working on desktop in this case. So if I went to look at this now on mobile, even though I've changed the percentage width of this particular frame, just going to pop that onto mobile, and look, it's still beautifully aligned because we've only got those 2 banks of padding. If I was to go and add a 3rd bank of padding and not use the width, do something like this and go to mobile, you can see now I've got 3 lots of 16, 16, 16 and 16. So that's the way the mobile system works, and that's the way I like to structure pages so that they always work together, right? I'm just going to put this layout back and clean as we go. So notice I'm just cleaning up as we go there. But that is the beauty of the mobile platform. The way that I structure website pages is like this, in that system, with outer padding and max width, and inner padding on a block, and then the components inside that block. And you'll notice that's the way the layouts work on the mobile platform, and that's why we can be sure that everything works together. So all future content users are working, well, they don't need to do anything, they're just going to change the content. But if they do go and drag things in, then we've just made settings so that it's going to work for them anyway. So everything just works, right? And that's the beauty of this structure and the system built around that structure.